Hey guys, Ray here, City Fan TV, and I'm joined by Bernard. How are you doing today, Bernard?
I'm fine, mate. Yeah, just enjoy another restful night and a lie-in tomorrow. Then it's back to the grind again.
Tell you what, lucky you Lions. I was up at whatever half 5. Went to gym this morning, first time in a while because I've done. So we're not talking football straight away. We're talking about life, but because I've done my Achilles in last year. And I had to join the gym to strengthen my Achilles up. And I've not been for a couple of weeks. And I was walking a lot on Saturday, and I've done my Achilles in again. It's always very fragile. I'm at that age that things break down. Things don't work like they used to, or they should.
I'm not going to comment.
So I went down. I had to go down the gym this morning. So, hey guys, I'll say hi to Dre. So, hey, Michael Feeney, Alec Johnson, and Sean Fogarty. Loads of people in the comments. Very nice to have you guys on board. And I'm going to say this every day if I can remember. Anybody new to the channel, please think about subscribing. We've smashed through 1,000 subscribers. And, chuffed in the last few weeks. We've done really, really well. Harry Mills, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're very well. There's lots of bits and pieces we can talk about the game, and then looking forward to Leipzig. I'll start off with this thing. There's a few criticisms about certain players. And I'm sure you've seen it on social media. There's criticism over Foden. There's criticism over Ederson. And a bit of criticism over KDB. And not enough criticism over Pep for not picking Mahrez. So we're going to start with Foden, because he's coming for a bit of grief. And Dre says Foden was quite good. He wasn't perfect, far from it, but that could be said for the whole team. Quite good, but dropped points because they were far from perfect. It happens on occasion. And we discussed it yesterday. I think we both said Foden had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, tremendous first half. I thought it was excellent, considering he's not played for a while. A little bit like the old Foden, and that just one thing let him down. That's all. I thought on Saturday. I don't think you could say anything else. He was okay second half. So yeah, I'm not going to have a go at him for a cock up. He made a cock up. He'll get over it, move on.
Yeah, it is a shame that people come. It's got to that reactionary thing on social media where, someone does something wrong, or, and then they'll lambast them. So, look, poor lad, he was really sick the other week, weren't he? Because he had to be sent home from London. Poor guy. Before the Spurs game, he was really, really sick. So it was good to see him playing, and it was good to see him playing well. And at that level of Foden performance is what you want week in, week out as a minimum. He's going to be doing that, because if he's not, then Mahrez is back or someone else is back. It's a difficult thing. I want to see Foden play because he still is the future. But I felt a bit sorry for Riyad Mahrez, because I still think he's been overlooked very quickly. Despite the fact
you've got probably 3 or 4 players, though, that if you put Foden in and you're playing people like Alvarez eventually, you haven't got much to play with. You've got to drop Grealish or Mahrez, and that's how it is. And at the end of the day, Mahrez isn't undroppable. I mean, the last game he played, he was a bit poor. It was the game before, certainly, but in the last couple he wasn't great. So yeah, that's the position we're in, and we do need Foden to get minutes, and we do need people like Alvarez at some stage to start getting minutes as well.
They're the future. I just thought, Mahrez has been our best. What's the right word? I wouldn't say our best performer.
He'll play against Leipzig. Sure, he will.
So, yeah, I think Mahrez has contributed the most goals and assists since we come back from the World Cup. I think maybe vying with Haaland, because obviously Haaland scores a lot of goals, got a couple of assists as well, I think. So, but Mahrez has been up there. I think excuse me, what I meant was he's been up to the last couple of games. He's been pretty consistent, a consistent high level performance. So it's a shame, I think, for him. But on one hand,
You got to look at it as resting. He's not. He wasn't dropped. He's rested. And I'm sure Mahrez looks at it like that, and Pep tells him that's what's happened because, as you say, he didn't deserve to be dropped. But we got to use our squad, and he was rested, and I'm sure he'll understand that.
Tell you what, I'll take it back because if you go along the line that he was rested, the guy's 31. He's been playing most weeks, hasn't he? He's been starting most games. So maybe
Forest away is doable. And we're not our best 11. Let's be honest about it. It wasn't, but it should have been. It should have been. It certainly should have been on the day. But so I don't blame Pep at all for I will say resting rather than dropping him at all. Yeah. That's what he did. He played Foden, who hopefully found a bit of form, and he did, which is good.
Got to remind everybody that it's not Notts Forest, it's Nottingham Forest.
Notts Forest. Let's wind them up. They wind us up about the stupid European Cup so they can piss off. Sorry. We'll say Notts Forest. I'm going to call it.
I call them Notts Forest because it annoys them. That's
good. You annoy us.
Well, yesterday's or today, some guy in the comment from yesterday's video said it's there's no such team as Notts Forest, and I know that, but it annoys you. There's no such team as Man City either.
You all stop going banging on about the European Cup, then we might start calling you Nottingham.
Alex Kalispira to Alex. I'm an Alexandros. Alex Kalispira team all the way from Greece. Alex Forza, how you doing, buddy? Mr. Rollup says Foden was good, and it was time for him to start that game. We're going to need him in form to win the league. Absolutely. Sean, Foden should move into midfield. I feel like he's lost out on the wing. That's his. I've said it many times from 2 or 3 years back. Pep said that's going to be his best position. But what has let Foden down is he's not ready for that yet. He's not delivering enough to be played there because I think if you see, I don't think you can have Foden and KDB because they're both risk takers. You need someone like Bernardo or Gundogan to keep that ball, to treat it with love and respect and not give it away. And I just think Foden and KDB playing together would do that too much. But as like I said yesterday, we're going to get to the stage very quickly where, Bernardo, I think he'll leave at the end of the season. But Bernardo's getting on. KDB's in his 30s. Mahrez in his 30s. Gundogan is in his 30s. Now, on one hand, I want them around, but I think if they're all there next season, I think Bernardo goes. So I think that creates an opening for hopefully Jude Bellingham, whether we like him or not. Some people like him, some don't.
I think Gundogan might be going the way it's dragging on about this new contract extension.
I reckon he'll get a year. He's a man. He's been here for 6 years. Pep's first signing, given when he was
injured. He plays like he did against Forest because I thought it was awful. In fairness,
yeah. Well, fortunately, I didn't watch the full game. I just watched the highlights. So I was
first half. He was shocking. He was not too bad second half, but first half, everything he did do. I do little ticks and crosses on my little sheet when I watch on the telly, and he had about 5 crosses against him in that first half.
Yeah. Go through some more points. Alex says if we would have drawn with Arsenal, beat Forest, we would be as cut up. Well, the thing is, Arsenal, if we'd drawn with Arsenal, they'd have got 4 points out of the 2 games. And so would we. So, it's better that we beat them and got the 4 points this way. It's not great, but it is what it is. Zohaib, how you doing, buddy? Foden doesn't look right for some reason. Well, he's not been playing. Paul has been ill. Remember that. I'm not going to let you forget it. No player in City team is undroppable. It's called rotation. City has been successful this before. Yeah, I agree. Rotation wins titles. Players need rest. Everybody's on your side on this, Bernard, and I've bowed my head and said, "Yeah, you're probably right."
I believe they were letting off fireworks, weren't they, after the game?
Yeah. Oh no! Look. Some City
how
fans,
much these European champions have dropped? A draw against little old City, and they're setting off fireworks. How the mighty have fallen?
Bernard, come on! I've got to ask you, how many times in your City supporting life have you been to games? Been to away games or home games expecting to get battered because City are crap, and you do get battered through the game and somehow you get a draw or sneak a win. How many times this happens? And you enjoy it. You enjoy the draw
when you're setting up fireworks all about it. I've been having a few bevies. You know, normal people go to the pub and have a few bevies, you know, and enjoy yourself.
It's not going to, wind me up. Let them. You got to let them enjoy it. I mean, they might not be here next season, so they might as well enjoy it.
Listen to a few Bournemouth fan channel. They think they're going to do us now because Nottingham Forest did. You should hear their confidence. It's unbelievable.
Harry says, I think Pep is holding Spider-Man back a bit. It's because he's played a lot of games in Argentina before he came. Look, you got to bring him in gently. And the problem is, if other players, Haaland is almost undroppable, virtually undroppable. If Grealish and Mahrez or Foden are playing well, how does Alvarez get in? How it's a shame for Alvarez. I thought he'd get a good run on the back of City winning games comfortably and Haaland being taken off after 70 minutes or something. Alvarez gets, I think 20 minutes is a nice run out. If City are winning comfortably, Mahrez might come off, or Grealish or Foden, and Alvarez comes on. And we'll rejig. If we'd taken half our chance in that first half and we've been 3-0 up or something, then I think Alvarez comes on much sooner, maybe even at half time. Because
Pep's plan was to be 2 or 3 up and bring players off. That was what he wanted to do against Forest, and unfortunately, we're not sort of doing it. We're not doing it so we can do that.
Let's go through some more stuff. Mr. Roll-Up Foden is not ready for midfield. His best position right wing for now. He's not ready because he gives the ball away too much. Greetings from Greece from Alex. Foden hasn't been himself since. I don't think he's been himself since last year because we are so good. All teams don't like us. Want to beat us at all costs. I don't think all of them don't like us. I still like to think United and Liverpool are hated more than City. That'd be a bad day then when we're hated more than them. So let's move on to. I mentioned Haaland. He missed that chance. I mean, terrible. And then he did that dive. Terrible. And I just think, Haaland on top form scores 2 goals there. Scores 2 goals. He shouldn't, a confident Haaland shouldn't be looking to dive. He's focused on scoring goals, and he should have been looking to score that goal. So what I think that Haaland's problems have been a lack of confidence, which has affected his form which is bizarre since the World Cup, because he had all that break, maybe 5 weeks off of taking it out of him because he's lost his rhythm. Something's wrong with him, isn't it? I say that he scored 26 league goals, but something's wrong with him.
Yeah, I mean, the Arsenal game, you look at the Arsenal game and he became an old-fashioned centre-forward, didn't he? A target man to release that ball up to him. And he didn't always, he's not his greatest. He's not, for a big lad, he's not great. He's not that great, actually, of holding the ball up. And, you think of people, I think with the old City day, Niall Quinn, people like that, who could take that ball and hold it up. He looks a little bit clumsy, and he does. That's what he looks like. So, and then you get to a game like Notts Forest where suddenly we're playing on the floor, suddenly we're playing things at pace and we're whipping things out. And it is a lack of confidence. He should have already, by the time he had those cock-ups, he should have already had a goal in the bank, and it wasn't his fault. He should have had those. So he would have been more confident having that goal. And if he gets three chances and he puts one in, I suppose that's okay. But, I mean, obviously, he would have probably put one of those 3 in if he got the chances. But I'm even playing with the idea he might not play him against Leipzig on Wednesday, but I put him in my team when I do a team. But I'm just thinking Pep might just give him a rest for that and bring him back for Bournemouth. But he'll be fine. It's just how it is. It's just he played all right against Arsenal as a target man. He worked hard, and just as a team, it didn't work not against Forest really.
I think Haaland's like KDB. They're so good. They've got those moments of magic in their boots that you don't want to take them off because they might be crap for 89 minutes and then come up with that delicious pass. Or
that's what everybody took KDB off. I couldn't see the point for taking him off for the last 5-7 minutes with injury time. What was the point of that? He may have just left him on and he could have produced just one moment of magic to win the game for us. Pep's a pillock sometimes, and I'm afraid he should just, but as I said, he brought Aki on and played him up front. What is the point? What is the point of bringing Aki on and bring him on early to shore up the defence? But he brought him on to play him as a target man. He was playing up front. Unbelievable. I just can't stand it.
So Pep the pillock. Is that it?
Yeah, I like illustration in my little comments. You see, Pep the so that's why I go for it.
So your alliteration is.
Oh, he listens in, but I mean, I'm sorry, mate. You know, you've got to perform a little bit better sometimes.
Yeah. So your alliteration is Pep the Pillock. Alex says we played excellent versus Forest. Just didn't finish it yet. You can't argue with that. First half we battered them. Michael says really enjoying the stream. Cheers, Mike, and everybody give us those thumbs up. Let's get that algorithm working for us. KDB not the same in that game. Yeah. The other one I want to talk about is Ederson. Now there are some people saying Ederson should have done better. There are some people saying, he's not a shot stopper. There are others saying, he brings more to us than we lose. Than we lose because of him. We talked about this the other week because once he makes a clanger, we're going to talk about it. And people are talking it and saying it's time for Ortega. What do you think? Well,
Ortega actually played. Last time we played Leipzig, we had Stefan in goal, didn't we? Because it was a dead rubber. So, of course, we got beat. So there you go. But the thing, I'm not going to blame Ederson for the goal against Forest. I don't think there's that many keepers would have done. Yes, I mean, they might levied Yashin back in the old days, or Gordon Banks might have done something, or But I'm not going to blame him for that Forest goal. I mean, there's too many defenders letting us down. There's too many other City players in front of him who allowed Forest to steamroll through us. I'm not going to blame Ederson for that. But yes, I am beginning to have a few, only because of the way City have changed how we're playing a little bit while Pep tries to sort things out. Yeah. And how Ederson plays isn't as important as it perhaps was last season, the season before, and however many seasons he's been here. We're not playing like that anymore. We're not playing to his strengths. And if we're not playing to his strengths, yes, there are better shot stoppers. We know Ortega can save a shot. We know Ortega can cock it up. So, let's not forget that as well. So, yeah, I'm at the moment, I am like that because of the system City are playing. It's just not as effective. It's as simple as that.
You look at someone like Ten Hag said, after United won against Leicester, I think he said something like David De Gea made 2 saves that kept United in the game. And you see it from De Gea. You see these. Look, I think if it wasn't for De Gea, United would probably be 6, 7, 8 points worse off this season.
Possibly more. I think I've seen him, make a few things and comments from United fans. He's probably earned them 9 or 12 points this season.
And I say the same with Alisson. Generally, he does. So it's hard. I understand the way City we used to play. Beating the press and passing it out, but Edison's not saving us any points. He's certainly not. He's not saving us any points with his, the way he's playing in goal. And he's not. I don't think it's a very simplistic, maybe naive, ignorant viewpoint from me. But I don't think he's creating enough because of the way we've changed to make it worthwhile.
And other teams have adapted. I mean, when he first came and now Pep was playing, but other teams have adapted to that now. They're well aware of what's going on. So he has lost his effectiveness, and it is a fact of life. Whether Ortega's good enough to be a number one, I don't think he is. I think he's a good goalkeeper, but not consistent enough to be a number one. So do we look for a new number one for future reference?
Well, Edison's 29 now, I think. 28, 29.
A goalie, is it?
Yeah, it's nothing, but I don't mind Ortega coming in for a game or two. No one should feel they're undroppable. There's hardly anybody in world football.
It's just how it affects him. I mean, he looks calm and cool, but I don't think he is. I don't think underneath it all. I think mentally, I think he can be hurt and various. But, he looks cool and calm on the pitch, but I don't.
Everybody can be dropped. We saw KDB's been dropped. Everybody in this team has been dropped at some point this season, apart from Haaland and the rest.
Wednesday's the time. Perhaps Wednesdays against Leipzig is the time to do it as a Champions League. Perhaps it is the time.
Yeah, but if that's if as the pundits say and the press say and the opposing fans say, if this is what we want to win, then maybe it's the wrong time to do it. But like Alex said, you're right about De Gea. De Gea and Alisson, and other goalkeepers keep their teams in games. We saw with Keylor Navas, he kept Forest in the game, allowed them to nick a point. If there wasn't someone as making a couple of his saves, if he didn't have those balls of steel, then we'd have won that game. He made a really nice save from Gundogan's free kick. So that makes a difference.
I know we should say we should play our best team and let other teams worry about us, but sometimes Pep perhaps has to think about who we're playing, and perhaps Ortega would have been a better shout against Forest because of the style they play. We knew what to expect. Leipzig are going to let us have loads of possession. That's what they do. They're going to try and hit us on the break. So, on that basis, would you rather have Ederson or Ortega on the break? I mean, I'd rather have Ederson for his coming off his line abilities and knowing to read the game, but he's just as likely to make a foul outside the box as actually get to it. But I think perhaps Pep has to look at it a bit more like that as to the opposition we're playing as well, whether perhaps to give Ortega a go occasionally and see what he can do under more pressure.
Has Ederson ever done anything as bad as Pope?
I've still not. I've just not watched Match of the Day yet. I can't face it. I don't know why. I could just fast forward through our game, couldn't I? But I just can't face watching it at the moment.
Pope, man.
I might watch it later when I go down.
He'd have got done for the first time ball, but you could have argued that was accidental or he didn't mean. He'd probably still get done for it.
There's another keeper. He's probably earned a few points. Pope. He's probably earned 6 to 9 points on his own for that team.
Yeah. Well, I heard some Newcastle fans said they were not sure when he came. They had 2 good goalkeepers and they didn't know why they were getting Pope. And now they say, he has won them points. He's saved, and that's my issue. Ederson hasn't really, in many games, saved goals from going in. He's not saved, hasn't gained us points. He's got an assist this season, I think, but that's not really what you're looking for. But so I want someone who can stop goals going in, and we've seen Ortega when he's played, he can do that. Let's look through some more comments. Most of the goals conceded ain't Ederson's fault. It doesn't do much to save them. I think that's the worry. Ederson wasn't as bad as the Villa's keeper. He had a mare. Ederson wins trophies well. I tell you what, Bernard playing for City up front, he'll be winning trophies. Nice to find you guys.
In goal, I'll be winning trophies. I won't be any worse than that Forest game. I wouldn't have been any worse than Edders.
Shan says Pep needs to play players in the rightful position, stop playing around, keep things basic. United have not won against us with Rashford offside yet. Or Bill's going for that new keeper. Don't know you got your eye on Ederson qualities. Our distribution is so brave. I agree with that, Alec, but being brave doesn't make you any good. Distribution is good, but it's harder to do the distribution that we used to do because
no doubt about his bravery. Ever about Ederson's bravery, you can't doubt that.
But there's two issues with Ederson. Okay, that Bernard's already touched on. One, his distribution isn't as well. 3 things. It's not as good as it was 3 or 4 years ago. Okay, he's not as good at pinging that ball around. Maybe he's been working too hard on his goalkeeping and not his passing. But teams have worked us out a little bit. And they're not making it as easy. For us to pass that ball out. I forgot the third point now. But I think that's the biggest thing. Teams are not making it as easy for us to play it out from the back.
Well, look at Arsenal. We had to give that up because we just couldn't. We just knew we'd get caught out. I mean, that's our style of play. Pep had to go do something totally different because Arsenal was far. You think of Liverpool when they used to press us and things like this. I mean, Arsenal sort of, all right, we're not in the form we were when Liverpool and us were both at our peaks. A couple, 2-3 seasons ago, whatever. But yeah, Arsenal made us totally change everything. I mean, Ederson became just a pinging it up, just oofing it up front all the time to Haaland. That was it. That was basically our tactic.
When we played him in the FA Cup, that's what we were doing. Ortega was lumping it forward, and he hardly ever passed it around. But that's the problem. Ederson isn't as good as he was at passing the ball, and teams have found us out, and they're putting the pressure on us. They're not making, they're not giving us an opportunity to play those easy balls. The big news, Sean. I've got to do a video, Sean. No one's talking about my suggestion. It's a suggestion about a player, and no one's talking about it. So I thought to myself, next time I get to Manchester, I want to do one at the Etihad. Weather's got to be nice. Got to have a shave, but I've got to get the time. Problem at the moment, my missus is away today, tomorrow, so I'm with the kids. I don't really want to drag my kids into Manchester. And I was supposed to be going up to North East on Wednesday. I'm not sure that's happening. Then going away on Thursday, and I got to go to hospital on Friday. So they're looking for my brain on Friday. So yeah, they won't find it. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Confidence. And a great day Friday. So. So I don't know when I'm going to go to the ground and do this video, but I wanted to get it out this week. I think it is the right time. You'll be flabbergasted what I'm going to suggest. So let's go through some more points. I'm still not going to let you guess. I'm not sure about a goalkeeper anymore.
I can't even guess, mate. It sounds that out of there. I just wouldn't want to.
It is, mate. It is way out there. Alex Johnson, anything gets past that guy, anything. Whew. On Facebook, people are posting City have been contacted about signing. Nah, rubbish. Nah, no. He's past it. He's a show pony. He's disruptive. No, absolutely not. Ortega will get his chance. I think so, Alec. I think so. I think he's, but it's one of these. Gomez looked quite all right for the bits and pieces he got, and then when he got a chance, he was cack. But I think Paul thing for Gomez is he just needs to play a bit. Can't blame Pep, says Dre. He can't put the ball in the back of the net himself or defend a one shot. Which team can be considered poor when they concede one shot in 90? But the thing about Pep was he just let it run. He should have changed it up earlier when Woods, as Bernard said yesterday, when Woods came on, he should have changed it up, and he should have, he shouldn't have taken KDB off. He should have gone all out attack when it was 1-1. That's it. M21 says we need a winger. I've said it many times. That crash really. Look, that would be incredible if we could get the fella Kvaratskhelia. Still can't get his name right. The kid from Napoli, best captain. Yeah, I think Diaz is our best captain.
You should have heard me trying to pronounce the linesmen and officials from Holland for Wednesday night's game today. I just give up.
Also got 10 times the stop at Ederson is, only he'll prove his distribution. Yeah, I think he will. And here's the thing: I don't know how much he needs to improve his distribution to be on a par with Ederson. Because if we say Ederson's distribution is better, Ortega's shot stopping is better, at what point do they meet? Does Ortega get ahead? Because my feeling is if we had Alisson or De Gea in goal, we'd be top of the table.
Yeah,
I really do.
I would agree. Certainly this season.
Yeah, I think he'd have saved us or gained us at least 4 points, at least. And I don't think he'd have. I'm trying to remember which game he cocked up. That penalty, for instance, against Villa, we got lucky. So was it Villa, the penalty? I can't remember which game was the penalty. We won 3-1. Yeah, it was Villa. You usually got better memory than me. So anyway, Alex says, do we lack a leader? Well, sometimes I think we do. We've had, obviously, companies irreplaceable as a leader. And Fernandinho wasn't too bad, but I just don't see anybody getting really mad. And that's what you want to see, someone getting really mad. Well, Alex says the president of Nottingham Forest is more than Greek Mafia. He's president of Olympiacos. I really can't believe that we didn't win against Nottingham Forest. Doug, how you doing, buddy? Congratulations on 1K. Cheers, mate. Just call him Kvaratskhelia. Well, I used to get the second half right if I got the first half right. Kvaratskhelia. But Kvaratskhelia, I don't know. Just call him George. That's it. I'm now going to call him George because he's from Georgia, and nearly everybody from Georgia has George somewhere in their name. Georgia Kingladze. So a lot of them have got a middle name or somewhere they got George. So that fella now, KK is now George. Michael says, great debate about Emerson, like Bernard, like Ederson, not Emerson, Lake and Palmer, like Bernard, a big fan of goalkeepers. I think most clubs know what Emerson is going to do with his history. Ederson isn't going to do his history, so they're aware of his needs to mix it up a bit. Yeah. Shan says, we need to stop being passive and play attack. Like, look, we were. I can't criticize them the way we played for most of the game against Forest because we were smashing it. On any other day, Foden passes it to Haaland and he scores. On any other day, Haaland scores from that chance that he hit wide. On any other day, all right. On
any other day, KDB might get a shot on target from the 7 or 8 yard. Yeah.
But not on any other day, but on half the days, Haaland gets in the box and he doesn't go down like a sack of spuds and he puts the ball away. So, we had so many opportunities. It's just, I'm not going to criticize the players for the way we attack because you can't ask for more than that. And it's one of those things. We put one of those other chances away, the game's won. I wish Ray was able to talk with Pep and put it in. I tell you, Pep would slap me down. Got me twins, Franny Gill and George. Hey, fantastic. Yeah, we went over
now we got Orgita as well. Now we must have two brand new keepers to add to our squad.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, guys, we did roll past 1,000 last night, and we're up to 1,004. So another couple during this stream. It's nice to get a few more whilst we're streaming. Ortega. Criminal status starting this clown Ederson ahead of him. Ortega would have kept us ahead of Arsenal today. I'm saying it. Wow, he's coming in hard. Frostzone, congrats. Cheers, buddy. Thanks very much. How are we feeling about Leipzig? I'll let you start, Bernard. How are you feeling about Leipzig? They're 21 unbeaten.
They're better than Forest, mate. That's for sure. I mean, they did get beat, mate. They got beat the game before last against Union Berlin, who were obviously second in the table. But, of course, they bounced back with a nice 3-0 win over Wolfsburg in the last game. It's going to be tough, mate. It's going to be tough because they play City play lovely how they want us to play. They like to counter-attack. They're one of the best in the Bundesliga at counter-attacking. That's what they're good at. So they'll soak up, they'll let us have the ball, and they'll come at us at pace. Of course, they'll be better with that Cuckoo, whatever he's called. He's injured. He's supposed to be going to Chelsea, is he, or something, at the end of the season?
Nkunku.
Yeah, he's like, they're not quite as good without him, apparently. But he has come back from injury now. He did get on the other day, so you might start this one or start on the bench. But they love to count on the attack on the counter attack. So we're going to have to be a lot better than we were against Notts Forest. And I can't see the Bernardo experiment at left back working for this one. I want Aki there. I want a bit a back four, switching to a back three at times or whatever when we're attacking. But yeah, going to be difficult. A good team, a good German team.
Yeah. Is it Leipzig that Angelino went to? Wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, he got sent off, didn't he, the last when we beat him 6-3 at our place in the first leg of that, when they beat us at home, of course, in the dead rubber at there. Yeah. But
yeah, look, it's true, the Nottingham Forest fans, because any team that's won the Champions League, like Villa, like Forest, Chelsea, Liverpool, United.
It's funny though, wasn't it? It never really cropped up, did it? 4 or 5 seasons ago, it was never really cropping up as a big problem. And now all of that's a big thing.
I don't think it helps that we got beat in the final. We got beat in semi-finals and quarterfinals and stuff. It's been really terrible, actually. Getting beat by Liverpool over 2 legs, getting beat by Spurs over 2 legs, collapsing against Real Madrid, last season. Lyon, so these are games when you look back and you think, well, we should have beat Spurs, we should have beat Lyon, we should have beat Real Madrid, and we got done by the ref. Even though Liverpool got all those goals, but we still got done by the officials as well against Liverpool. So you look back and you think we should have done a little bit better. Then obviously we got done by Monaco as well when we won 5-3 at home. And I said, I'll go back to that. I said we had, was it Leroy Sané had a great chance to make it 6, and everybody thought, well, it doesn't matter. We stuffed them. That goal did matter. So it's going to, look, the fans tease and say Champions League, you'll never win that. And apparently the City fans sang back, you weren't even born, which is true. Most of them weren't born because you've got to go back 42 years, 43 years. 17, was it 79 or 80 they won it? Something like around that.
Late 70s, won it 78, 79, around there, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a long, long time. And then they turn around, you won't be alive. Champions League, when we win it, most of the City fans will be passing on anyway. So let's go here. What's this? There's actually a title race. Absolutely, there's 5 or 6 teams in it. I mean, Leipzig are 5th, I think, 4 points off the top. It's very nice. Yeah, I'm growing to like Ortega more and more now. What a quality keeper he is. His stopping is as good as Alisson and De Gea, but we'll wait and see. Ederson being called a Kleiner who's won loads of trophies, or there's a bit of argy-bargy on the stream tonight. Show fans respect calling our goalie a clown. Brothers, we really started making some more noise in the Etihad. What's this, Dougie? How long do you think you guys think Potter was at Chelsea? He should have gone. He should have gone a long time ago. But he's got that magic, as our Harry. He's got that magic in his boots. It really does depend. And if they keep getting beat, then he's out. He's got to be out in his ear. Because they're not that far away. It sounds a bit over the top to talk about relegation. It does sound like a bit over the top, but really, could they get dragged in? I still think it's unlikely they get dragged in, but they're not that far away. Even though they are sat in 10th, they got 31 points, which makes you think they'll be all right. But
you just think Potter's lost the players somehow, don't you? Yeah. That's all you can think.
He's not got them. He's got too many players. He's not had a chance to build. I think they've got too many players in, and it's just a mess. Where what they did in January, they potentially or personally, maybe they should have bought these players but left them at their clubs for the rest of the season. And I just think they've got too many, and it's just an absolute mess. Now, look, their biggest problem is they ain't scoring. And as people have said, you spent 300 odd million quid in December. You should have gone and got Osimhen. You should have pushed the ball. If you're going to spend 100 and whatever million on Martinez, Enzo Fernandez, whatever his name is, you should have gone out and got Osimhen. You knew you had a problem. You should have gone out and got Osimhen and said to Napoli, here's 100 million, here's 120 million. That guy will score you goals. He's another one that I looked at before we got Haaland, because I said, this guy, he's ripping it up. He's a beast. And so it's, but look, Chelsea have got 15 games to go. They're only 10 points ahead of Bournemouth, who are 17th, 11 points ahead of West Ham. But you think the way Chelsea are playing, they'll keep eking out the draws. I mean, the last 5 games, they've only lost 1, but they've won 1 and drawn 3. That's been their problem. But you see how quickly a couple of wins do what it does for you. Liverpool, in their last 5 games, have only got 7 points. They've lost 2, but winning 2 games on the bounce. And everybody's talking, well, a lot of people are talking, me included, that Liverpool have got some confidence back. They can go on a run. They can challenge for top 4. I mean, Tottenham are 4th at the moment with 41 points. But Liverpool have got 2 games in hand, or 42 points. Liverpool can get to 41. So it's very tight up there. But Liverpool are starting to knock on the door. Just starting. But I think one of Liverpool's problems is they've let in a lot of goals, letting 28 goals. I mean, having said that, we've let in 24. It's nothing to shout about. Newcastle have still only let in 15. So I think a lot can happen. But Chelsea, I think they lose a couple more games. Let's say, for argument's sake, Villa and Palace win a game each. Yeah. Villa take Chelsea, Palace get close. I mean, Nottingham Forest are only 6 points behind Chelsea. Only 6 points behind. So you're going to look at that, and Leicester, 7 points behind. These teams have been struggling for most of the season. So at some point, he's going to look at it. I think if he loses 2 or 3 more games, if he loses the next 3 games, I think he's gone. Some people say, well, why would you sack him when there's no one to bring? The guy you want probably doesn't want to come in right now, but you're not going to do any. It's no good. I don't think keep him there till the end of the season. I think he's a dead man walking. He should be. Look, you never know. He might turn it round and be another Ferguson, but right now, I think he's a dead man walking. Alex, I was there 57 years. Trevor Francisco versus Malmo to win the Cup for Forest. That must have been 79.
What was 57 years ago?
Trying to work out what 57 years ago. What are we now?
Forest won the European Cup 79 and won it in 80, so they won it 79 and 80.
Yeah, so that's 42
years, isn't it?
To be 57 years ago, you're talking 65?
66.
Yeah, so what happened in 66?
World Cup. Won the World Cup, Willie?
No, I really don't know what Alex on about. Not 50.
I think Ederson won the FA Cup in 1966, didn't they? Won the FA Cup. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Shoes are too big for Potter. What's this? Very, very fast on the counter.
We won the 66, 65, 66. Yeah, we won the second division then, didn't we?
Yeah. The one thing Potter was criticised about Brighton, his team wasn't scoring goals. They have scored 6 goals in the last 14 games. It's terrible. And as I said, they should have gone out and got a proper goal scorer, because with the amount of money they're throwing around, they could have got almost anybody. Osimhen, 120 million. I think Napoli, they might have said no because, look, they're going to win the league title. I think this year, Napoli, and they want to keep the team together. So I can see that. But look, end of the day, money talks. Money talks. If only champions were allowed in the European Cup, would have won a hat for by now. I agree with that, Sean. It's true. Because when we got knocked out by Liverpool, they shouldn't have been in it. When we got knocked out by Spurs, they shouldn't have been in it. Were Real Madrid champions or second when in the league the previous season when they knocked us out?
Yeah, we should strip them all of it now. Any team that won it that weren't the champions should be stripped of it straight away. That's my thinking. Sod FFP and stuff like that. Strip them all. Let's get it back to basics.
And give them to City.
We might have a couple of European trophies in the cabinet now.
That's a good point, Sean. It's true. If there's all the champions there, we would have been in it 6 times in the last 12 years or whatever.
Listen, you only usually have to beat 1 or 2 okay teams to win the European Cup when Villa and Forest won it. I don't care what anyone says. A good English team was always winning that trophy. Liverpool for theirs. You always had someone good to play at some stage, but you win a couple of matches. You're in the semi-finals basically, because there's that little. There weren't that many clubs in it. Cup Winners' Cup, we won it, but it wasn't. It's not a master thing to win it, because it was exactly the same as the European Cup. There was the same rounds in it. So,
can you even remember the name of the team that we beat in the Cup Winners' Cup?
Sorry,
can you even remember the name of the team, Polish team that we beat in the Cup Winners' Cup?
Don't be stupid, Ray. Come on, you're not even asking me that, are you?
Yeah,
of course I know who we beat in the European Cup Winners' Cup.
No, I know you do, but
I'm not going to insult you by saying who it is. I don't know how to pronounce the second of it, but
yes, yeah.
Or something, but we'll call it.
A lot of fans won't even.
And we had to play in the year after. We played in the year after as well, before we played Chelsea in the semi-final with the season after as well.
Yeah.
Went to a replay. We played at home and away, and we had to play a replay in abroad somewhere for the third game.
But my point is, a lot of fans won't even know who they are, and if you've heard the name, who are they now? So teams could. People might say about City back in those days, who were they? Who were them? But didn't Liverpool beat? Was it Bruges in one European Cup final?
Yeah. Forest beat Malmo. Forest beat Malmo. It wasn't Of course, it was an accomplishment. Of course, it was. But let's put it into context of what it's like now with all the teams we've got in it now. All good teams, four teams from each of the top divisions, etc., etc. It is difficult to win now, and all credit to the teams that have won it now. Liverpool's and that have won it recently.
Yeah, but it is much more difficult to win it now. You're right, than it was in the past. So you've got to accept that. City win title, it will put Premier League in here. Look, here's a question, Bernard. Right now, Premier League or Champions League, which would you take? Can only have one.
Right now, Champions League. Because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it hanging over us. You give me one, mate, I'll take the Champions League. If you asked me that after the Arsenal game, I would have said Premier League. But now I'm back to the Champions League again. I'm flip-flopping.
For me, I don't. I'd let people make fun of us and have a go at us for the Champions League.
No, I wouldn't. I want the Champions League because we can go and win the league again next season. No big deal.
I want it all. I want it all this season. Oh, we don't have another stupid ref again. Sean says it's the Champions League.
Well, this ref in the Champions League is the one who refed our 6-3 against them when we beat them 6-3 a couple of seasons ago. So hopefully he'll continue that good form.
Yeah. Well, Michael Foden is right. Chelsea should be beating Southampton at home. Not good enough from them, from where they were. I agree, Potter is a dead man walking. Alex says most Premier League's teams hate us. Doug says Liverpool have won the European Cup Champions League by playing teams in white. Didn't know that. Sean's going for Champions League. Alex says the Premier League is harder. It is harder, but yeah. Thanks, Michael. Cheers for that, buddy. If City wins the Champions League, what's this? We're going to win them all. What's this?
Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy, Bill.
Well, look. But the thing is, we're still in a chance of winning all three. So in terms of unique records, okay, only look at since the advent of the Premier League. In terms of uniqueness, obviously City have got the Centurions, which I still think is the best. I still think that's the best league side. That's the best return to get 100 points. Liverpool, obviously, this following season got 98, and then they got 99. They weren't far behind. But City to get 100 points, not done before or since. Almost done, but not done. Arsenal to get invincibles for a season in the modern era, not done before, not done since. Liverpool were close. Did they lose one game one season and that's it? Liverpool were close, but they won't have won the league that season, I don't think. So that's an unrivaled achievement. United's treble, no one's done that before or since. And City's domestic treble, even though people want to downplay it, no one's done it before, no one's done it since. So those are four records that no one else has done. And it would be nice. It's you can see how, in the 30 years of the Premier League, no one, or 31 years, no one's done them more than once. And it would be nice. I mean, it's extremely difficult, but maybe I'm being greedy to get that FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League treble. And then United, whatever they say that they were the best team.
You did watch City against Forest, didn't you, Ray?
Moving on.
Talking about flipping trebles, flipping X.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying if we did it, okay.
Yeah,
if we did it, we'll turn around and say we did the treble, okay, and we didn't get 79 points in the league to win it. We got 86 points or something. So for me, that straight away ranks as above Man United. But I'll tell you this: if we do win the treble this season, hey, well, let's talk about it. When we win the treble this season, it won't be as good as I still say it won't be as good as our Centurion season. I still say that's the best season in Premier League football. It is. If Liverpool had got 102 points that season, I'd have said Liverpool's season was the best season in Premier League football. It almost was, the way they'd got, was it 78 points or 79 points after 26 games or something ridiculous. The beggars just couldn't lose.
Yeah, I mean, you can only get a maximum of 78 after 26 games, but 79, yeah, they must have cheated one somewhere.
79 in 27, 79 or something like that. They had a cracking start. It's actually funny because I remember I was on the radio, I was on Love Sports or something, and because I'd said that when Liverpool got beat by Watford, I'd had them down. With some City mates, we do this Premier League predictions, and I'd had Watford to win 2-0, and they won 3-0, and no one believed. I said, well, when I was on the radio, I said, are you taking the piss, really, to say that you had Liverpool to lose? I said, yeah, I did, because I thought Watford were playing really well at the time, and Liverpool are taking the eye off the ball. We'll take the Champions League. Only if Arsenal win the league, but if United win the league, then I want the league over the Champions League. But I prefer to take them. But come on, calm down. Is Bernard heading to Ashton Gate? You got
I've not got a ticket yet, but I am heading there. I've got a ticket on its way somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, lucky you. I can't get past. There's no way. I said it a few times. There's no way my wife's going to say, yeah, go ahead. I'll take the kids to school and bring them back. Go ahead. You go to Ashton Gate. Have a good time. Roll back home at 3:00 in the morning. Yeah, do it. Well, the thing is, when I used to do reporting, I used to come back very late at times. I remember going to Arsenal once. And I left the ground about 9:00 at night. And the game finished. I think the game started at, was it a 2:00 kickoff or a 12:30 or whatever? And I left at 9. I was doing so many videos after the game. I think that was the one with the infamous meeting with the young Arsenal fans. So that was, and it took so long to get back because you're leaving at 9. It's going to take you 4 or 5 hours, and you're basically so tired that you got to have a stop off a few times. But yeah, I don't get the pass anymore. Personally, I prefer the Premier League, says Alex. Champions League, then we can fade into obscurity like Forest, but still sing about it forever. Absolutely. It took Fergie years to win the Champions League. We are getting closer. 100 isn't for everyone. Absolutely. Even if we win the Champions League, rivals will say we bought it or cheated. Well, stuff them. So I said, I prefer to win all 3 of them and let shut Goldbridge. I don't care about Goldbridge. I mean, the only time I hear his name is when it's usually Mike. Mike's in love with Goldbridge and the Anfield Rap. I don't understand Mike. But he's crazy. And then he goes out and what did he say today? He says, I'm the best person out there on YouTube and Twitter or something.
Yeah, I was very offended. I thought, cheers, Mike. Don't worry about my little channel. You just all smoke up razor ass. Don't worry about me.
I tell you, Bernard, you.
I didn't. Did you notice I didn't retweet it?
Well, I was going to say you pre-watershed. You did one after about. You said something after about 6 minutes, and at least you waited to 52 minutes in before saying something else. Not kiddie friendly. Rivals will say they won the Champions League more times. Well, stuff them. It'll shut Villa fans up. That's the first thing.
Yeah, because they want to go on, so we're all right. Yeah. Chelsea and Forest, you won't shut them up.
Yeah, give us 2 years. Give us 2 years. If we get the player I want, we win it next season.
Oh God! How old is he? Tell me how old he is.
I'm not telling you. If I tell you how old she is, you'll get it.
She?
Huh?
Did you say how old she is then?
Yes. I'm gender neutral here. Gender neutral.
Because not bunny, is it? You're not transferring bunny.
Bunny Shaw. No, she's not. She's certainly not good enough, Bunny Shaw. Not any ladies fans come at me. She's not good enough. I'd have preferred that girl. I forgot her name now. The one that I think she was at Liverpool and went to Barcelona. She would have made a massive difference. But we're not talking about City's ladies. 79 side is the greatest Premier League side today. Absolutely no argument about that. A treble will be our best ever. I don't think it would be, Alec. From what you've seen this season, if we now if we went on a run now and won the next 15 games and then won it all, would you say that's the best City side you've ever seen? I don't think so, because we have not even won 3 games in this, more than 3 games on the trot so far, and one sparkling finish to the season ain't going to change that. That'd be fantastic. Alex. Napoli, dark horse, absolutely. I mean, you can't not. They're doing really well.
It was just knocking Napoli out, to be honest with you, not us.
Yeah. I don't want to play them. I think they'll do us. If we do the treble, it'll be the best season we've ever had. But we were talking Premier League alone. Yeah, absolutely. Centurions are the best. But if we can do that treble, then it won't shut them up, because they'll find another thing to talk about. But it'll shut that treble talk up. It'll do 2 things. One, it shuts up the treble, Man United's treble talk, and 2, it shuts up the people who say we've never won the Champions League. But as I said, and as you said as well, Bernard, the narrative will move to, oh, you've only won it once. You know, same with Pep. Oh, you won the Premier League, but you haven't won it twice on the banks. Well, okay, I've done it now. Oh, but no,
yeah,
you won it
I'm fairly sure Liverpool do it to United with the European Cups, don't they? And I'm fairly sure United have got one more league title than Liverpool have they, or is it 2? I'm sure they both have fun throwing that at each other. You know what I mean? It's pathetic.
Yeah. Really. Well, that's it. I was going to say, Michael, Arsenal never won the Champions League. You know, all right, they got very close, but they never won it. And those kids don't understand. They've been brought up in a different way.
Kids. I mean, that old fart that was on Arsenal TV talking about class and all this garbage, traditions. Organically, Arsenal organically put over dozens and dozens of years. What a load of garbage.
I tell you what, if you want organic, you pour shit on it to get organic, okay? You don't use artificial fertilizers, you pour shit on it. And that's what those Arsenal fans are talking. We've been through their history. We've been through their history, you know, about how they bought themselves into the league. They bought themselves into the league. That was a con. And, you know, they buy managers and players. And
Huddersfield's championship winning team took all them down and won the league with them. So organic, you see, that's organic. That's organic.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely, Alec. They were clueless, you know, but because they didn't understand. They didn't understand why us older fans still want to win the Premier League more than Champions League. They say, well, you're a tin pot club. You've got no. I can't remember exactly what they said, but the thing is, I've always said one thing's why we didn't have the affinity with the Champions League for the first 20 odd years or whatever it was. We were never in it. So that we never had a chance to get that affinity. Even in the Premier League, you know, even the seasons when we were relegated, we could have still won it that season. We were still in the competition, and that makes a difference because we were in the competition so much more than the Champions League, and especially when the European Cup, when you had to be league winners, we didn't have a chance. Even the top 2, we didn't have a chance. You know, it's only when it got to 3 and 4 that it gives us that first opportunity. So, I just say. I still want the Premier League more than Champions League. And older City fans, right? I said things will change. Things will change not because we're bored of winning the Premier League, but I think it's more like you said, Bernard. It gets that monkey off our back and shuts people up because, you know, we don't need that grief. Well, I'll say, bring it on. Throw us the grief. Have a go at us for not winning the Champions League. I don't care. You know. I'll talk about next spend. We're champions now. It's Kayla Navas, not Taylor Navas. I've been gender neutral in City Mav. I tell you what, yeah, if you didn't have such a big pair, we might have scored that goal. I pay no attention to AFT. Oh yeah, AFT. But look, I've said many times that when I've interviewed them, talked to those players, some of them are all right. I mean, Claude was a really nice fella. Claude. He'd always be, you know, have a chat with you. And he was always willing to help you, even if he got a little bit, you know, irate and angry at times. But he was, I think, I think the one thing about him was he was pretty genuine. He was a genuinely decent guy who just, you know, sometimes lost it, you know. But hey, a lot of us do that, you know. So it happens. But some of the others, Troops was an ass. Oh no, he's an absolute. You know, I talked to him after one game. I think it was on the channel years ago. Just talk shit. It's like, mate, didn't you watch that game? Didn't you? You know, I'm no big analyst, okay, but didn't you watch that game? We battered them. Might have only been 2-0, but you know we were streets apart in quality and class. And then some of the others are just, you know, what's his name? Ty. He's a tosser as well. You know, forgive me French, but we've not got past the 9 o'clock watershed. But you know, when we beat them, he got really angry. When I asked him just to have a chat after the game, he got really angry. You know, I never, because I'm going back 4 or 5 years or whatever. For at least 4 years, I never really looked into them that much and knew what they were like as people. But Now you look back and they were not nice people, some of them. I think I spoke to Kelechi. He was okay, but some of them you could tell it was maybe some people accused me as well of getting to the heads. It was getting to the heads, and obviously you've got people like Mr. DT, horrible guy. If you don't know anything enough about him, go and check him out on the news, because he went down in a slammer for a while. Really not a nice guy. But they're not worth it, paying attention to, because they just, as I said before, some people they know what the formula is. The formula is saying some stupid stuff, gets traction. Goldbridge says stupid stuff about City because he knows, he makes fun of City fans. He says, look, he did one a year or two ago. He said, look, I've got, whatever, I'm talking shit about City, and I've got 30 or 40 or 300,000 views talking shit about City, because City fans watching his channel rather than watching a City channel. You're watching Goldbridge rather than watching City channels, because he's that big to them. But it is about being controversial. Said it many times, and people react to that controversy. Two boring old bald farts talking about football reasonably. Unless you're a City fan, it's not really interesting. You get a few, obviously, like Doug and Chris Welch and one or two others coming on. But unless you really like talking and listening to football, you're not going to watch our channel, because there's not really any controversy. But there will be this week. If I get that video done, it will be this week. You will think I've lost my marbles. You will think I've lost it, but
you lost them ages ago, mate. I won't worry about it.
Never had them. Can you imagine if we do the treble this season? Not only the treble, but it'll be the 3P at the same time. United will be in the bin. Actually, I forgot about that. Get that 3P and the treble.
Yeah, we've got to see off United's challenge yet, mate. They're just as likely to bloody win it as we are at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely. Yeah, you got to worry about that. Ray Bernard liked my video on FNP and called Julian. I called Julian. I don't even know who Julian is. I don't know, because I don't watch it anymore. Tremble and you call it the tremble, not the treble. It's a tremble and 3P together in one season.
Yeah, I'll be bloody trembling.
MUTV, the worst Goldbridge is a clown. Well, he's on the United stand. Leipzig are on a winning run last time. All right, Sean, come on. What are you doing, Sean?
Games ago, Sean. He lost to Union Berlin, and then he beat Wolfsburg last week.
Hang on a minute, Sean. What are you doing talking about football? What are you doing talking about serious football? Dre's still here, man. He's been here for an hour. Some of the guys on AFT are just too ridiculous and overreact. That's why they're entertaining when they lose. Absolutely. People like laughing at them. But here's the thing. They know that people laughing at them works, and it makes them money. That's why you do it. That's why you do it. That's why I rarely say anything too controversial. I'm always a bit cautious about winning games and stuff. But believe you and me, we are going to win the treble this season. All three. We're going to get the 3P and the tremble, as Oo says. We're going to get the tremble and the 3P. You can play that as much as you like. This video is going to get 1 million views, because when we don't get it, when we get nothing this season, everybody's going to be on my case. But that's it. I've got to throw a few fams and bloods and Fs and and bleedings and that and there's your video, and suddenly you get more views, you get more people following you. But because most of our guys are reasonable, no one's following after this. It's okay, says Dre. You're trying to encourage intellectual discussion. Some fans on social media are just pretty petty and one-eyed. To be honest, on Twitter, that's all I am. I'm just a troll on Twitter now. I just decided, I share my laughing video. There's Bernard in the background laughing a little bit as well. And I'll say that's most of what I do, just share that. I said I wanted to get 1 million views. I think I've got to give £100 to charity if he gets to 1 million views, but it's still stuck on about 140 odd thousand. But hey, give it time. As long as I don't get banned for some reason on Twitter, he'll get 1 million. Sean, that's a bit naughty. That don't make the dyslexic. A tremble and I will be in heaven.
Tremble, I'll be in heaven. Yeah,
Alec, it's a tremble. It's called a tremble. I don't know why it's called a tremble, but it's going to be a tremble. It's not a.
We'll decide who's decided we call it a tremble, so we'll go with that.
Tremble. I go with that. It's a tremble. Right, it's been on for long enough, guys. I think Mark Goldbridge just wants a reaction from City fans.
That's where he gets all his watches from when he does some things like that. He gets more people watching if he slags City off.
Well, people said he did 4 videos about City and Pep's going to leave and City going to get relegated and all this and all that, and he got over 1 million views. And that's worth a pretty penny, don't you think? 1 million views. It's worth a few quid. That's why you do it, you know. So maybe next time we'll come on. We'll be in our ghetto gear for the next video. I think. Let's get me.
It's a shame because I mean, deep down, he's quite quick. He's quite quick-witted, and it is a shame he's such a prat because he is quite clever and he can think of things very quickly, which is a great skill. But he's such an ass. I mean,
the thing is, a lot of the people who talk fast, who come up with things like the ones I remember from years back, expressions. He's such a fast talker that you can't get a word in edgeways. The guy from Redmen TV, Padgett. I mean, they talk. So I remember he talked with. He was chatting with Stephen, and he wiped the floor with him. Not Stephen. It might have been who was another guy from Blue Moon Rising TV, the comedian Hilton, Alex Hilton. He talked with him, and he wiped the floor with Alex Hilton. But the thing is, I mean, I watched it. Look, it's easy when you watch it. The video, and I thought, Alex, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? You'd have knocked him back with that. But in the moment when the guy's going, he's just banging. It's very hard. It's very hard to keep up. And it is sometimes the guy who talks the fastest and the loudest and pushiest wins because the other guy, you know, you're thinking of your answer and he's laying into you again, and then you're trying to get your thoughts together and come back, and he won't let you, and he gets 3 or 4 points in, and you can't really go back to what he said 4 points ago, which was crap. Oops, my missus calling me. I think that's going to be my limit, guys. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to be farming and blooding it and Bernard and me. We're going to, you know, we're going to be boys in the hood. We're going to be hip hopping. We're going to be freestyling, rapping tomorrow night. That's Bernard and me, or maybe Bernard. Right, great show, lads. Right, I'm going to go because my missus is calling, and I missed that call. Cheers, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not been too. I said to Bernard, we'll only be on
20 minutes. We'll do 20 minutes.
There's night to talk about. It's only on for 20 minutes, and an hour just rattles by. You know, it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm going to
cheers, guys. Thanks for
guys. Take care.
Listening.
Take care, guys, and enjoy your evenings. And I'm going to watch that Liverpool game. Come on, Madrid. I mean, look, lots of people hate Madrid. But most of the footballing world, apart from half of Liverpool and Barcelona, will be on Madrid's side tomorrow. Come on. I want to see Ramos injuring Salah. I don't want to see injuries. I don't like injuries. I don't like players to. I don't want players to get hurt. I just want Ramos to run on the pitch and go like that to Salah or something and make him cry. I'll be happy with that. Guys, look after yourselves. Don't be daft.
Sorry, Doug, mate. I mean, if you're still there.
This is what it's about. You got to have a bit of fun. You know, we're not here to, you know, I can't remember what I said today to somebody. We're not
after him congratulating you on Twitter today, and you have to say that today. That's nasty, mate. It's just nasty.
What was said, but it's true.
It's nasty. It's nasty.
Doug isn't even a Scouser. He's a Scot.
What's that got to do with it?
He's a Scot. It's got nothing to do with Liverpool. He lives, 200 and odd miles from Liverpool.
And it doesn't make you any less than a fan.
No, come on. There's no Anfield tartan that Doug's wearing up in Scotland. I'll tell you what. Tomorrow we'll talk about Scotland.
Let's just hope it's a good game. Let's hope it's a fair game and a good game.
Yeah. That's it.
Come on, Madrid.
I'll tell you what, Bernard. You'll never. You'll never walk alone, Bernard. You never walk alone. That's it. Right, guys. We will see you later.
Cheers, guys.
See you tomorrow. See you around Blue.